Oh, what's your superpower?
Real cheese.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the studio this evening. Browncoat Captain, good evening. Welcome to the studio. And in India, I believe they are indeed holy, but yes, welcome. And yes, a pyrographer, but not tonight. I'm going to finish this chain and then when I finish this chain, then I start pyrography. So it may or may not be this evening when we do the pyrography. We may start that tomorrow night, but yeah, I take it you also do pyrography. And the next question would be, do you stream it? Because if you do, and I am able to do so, I would like to watch. Good evening, Fear Reaper. Nice to see you again. Right, I should have enough rings out in front of me to finish this chain here before I join it to this one. So I need to go through an exercise of opening and closing rings in order to do that, and I have forgotten how many I need for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I need 11 open rings in gold before I have enough to finish that section, and then the blue ones I'll count again in a moment. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I've just separated out 11, but I have just realised, as I often do when I start a stream, I've forgotten to switch glasses. You'd think it would be something that I'd obviously remember, wouldn't you? You might think it doesn't seem to happen very often. Right, so it shouldn't take too long. There's not, I was about to say there's not that many rings to open and close. There isn't actually, but there is actually about 60 of them. But that doesn't take much. So how are things with you two gentlemen? Leazar as well, good evening, welcome to the studio. And Steve-O, how are you doing, Steve-O? I haven't had much chance to see any of your streams now that you're working. I hope you're enjoying the job. I noticed you, I still haven't watched any of your drive time videos. Just haven't had time. But I do fully intend to try and do so. Too much to do, too little time to do it in, as usual. Anybody who doesn't know Steve-O, awesome streamer. There you go. Well, I won't be embarrassing him, but he'll probably disagree with that. Does Euro Truck Simulator, does Farm Simulator on various platforms, and also does a number of first-person shooters. And I'm sorry, I'm just trying to work out whether I've closed this ring properly or not, because I can't actually see the join. And also on YouTube as well as Twitch. So check his channel out. Yep, I'll close that properly now that I've found the join. Yeah. No, I can understand that, Steve-O, and of course it's a little bit difficult for me to watch you streaming whilst I'm doing it myself. Otherwise I almost probably would be. We've almost got all the gold rings prepared. If I do the blue ones as well, then they're all ready just to go. Oh, you're having a night off. Oh, you've seen the F1s. That should be good. Have you ever seen the insides of those trucks? Those trailers. They kind of get what is it? They get two cars in, and all the spares, and all the things like computers and everything else. It all gets packed into one of those trucks, and it's quite amazing how they manage to get everything in, all the spare parts, and that they're carrying. Not able to get more than 10 viewers. That's a pity, Steve. Mind you, it could be just time. I mean, I never get more than, well, very rarely get more than 10 viewers anyway, so could be just time of the year. Although this week, I don't know, isn't TwitchCon on or something this week? So if it is, then a number of the big streamers, of course, will be there and not streaming. So that's we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that makes sense. So I need 9 open, which means, yeah. Fluffy Twiglet, good evening. Welcome this evening. So 3. And then close the rest. I'm getting quite good at closing these particular rings. Shows you what practice does. When I first started doing these, I'd take quite several seconds, shall we say, to close out a single ring. Now I seem to be able to just apply the right force and twist to do it in just a few. But there again, occasionally I get one wrong, like I just did there. Spend more time untangling the things. Yeah, still trying to fill that scrapbook, I can see. Well, I learnt something very useful about pussycats today. Don't let them go to sleep on your keyboard. Especially if your PC's still on, shall we say. It might look cute, but the consequences sometimes can outweigh the cuteness. Right, what we're on. Two more and then we can start and do the weaving. And then, as I mentioned at the start of the stream to Brown Coat Captain, with a bit of luck, maybe not on this stream because I'm discovering sometimes these things take a lot longer than you think, but on the next stream we should finish this stream, so on the next stream we'll be back to doing the pyrography. I do have a subject in mind. It's an image that I've did as an airbrush image, so I'm going to see if I can reproduce that in a pyrographic style. It's of one of the older Disney monorails, so seems like a nice. It seemed like a nice image when I saw it. Reminded myself of it the other day when I was looking at the picture itself. So I'm going to try and do that one. Okay, if you're new to watching what I'm doing, what I'm making is a European 6-in-1 weave, and I'm making two separate bands which I'll then join together. So lots of literature, lots of the chainmail literature suggests it's quicker to do that than to sort of try and build on the one chain that you've already got. So rather than sort of building on the side of the existing one, create a new one standalone like this, and then just join the two together. So we're going to kind of find out I suppose if that is it is easier or not. Ring, you are going to go on there. Thank you. Dear, yeah. Well, sometimes some DLs has a different eye for things, Fluffy Twiglet. I don't know about scrapbooking, but quite often if I'm writing things, for example, I can spend ages not writing anything, and then for some reason just something will change and I can then just write tens of pages. And it sounds like you're having a similar sort of thing with the scrapbooking. I'm wondering if I've counted the scent of these correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, looks like I did. Right. Not far off now, switching to the blue for the final band. of this chain. Of course, I'll get closer to it if I can actually manage to put these rings in rather than trying to get them out of the wrong place. There we go, that's it. Right, on the next pass I insert my first blue ring, because the blue is slanted, it's at an angle, so it doesn't go straight across. That way it creates a more interesting pattern in the final bracelet, which means I want gold on this side and I want blue on that side. This final gold ring with 2 blue rings on it. That then forms the diagonal line. But before I got much further with that, I'm just going to lay it down the desk and just check the lengths are correct. They are indeed. So I can now just carry on and finish the blue off, and then it's time to join the two together. Now I won't be putting a clasp on this because I don't actually happen to have one, not the one that I want to go on the end of this. Although until I've finished I'm not actually sure. I kind of thought about putting a lobster claw or even a magnetic clasp on the end of this, but I think what I've been sort of aiming towards doing is using sort of a box clasp. It's one that splits apart into sort of 2 halves, one goes inside the other, and because of the way it's kind of like 2 long bars on each end of the bracelet, and it will tend to hold. I think some bracelets like this will have a tendency to sort of curl up on themselves a little bit when they're just loose. With the bars on the end, it tends to hold it straighter, stops it also curling up on your wrist when you're wearing them. So it sort of keeps them straighter on your wrist. So I've been sort of inclined to use one of those for this, because obviously it looks better, or it will look better flat, in one piece, rather than in sort of curled up and twisted. It's just weird how a ring just doesn't seem to want to go. You know, I got it through one of the two side rings there, and for some reason it just didn't want to go through the other one. Almost as though there was something in the way stopping it. Whatever it was that was stopping it was totally invisible, so three more units, and then the next step is stitching these two together. Yeah, and the last, I think it's the last one. Funnily enough, I've got 3 rings left, so I'll need to check I've not miscounted something. Let's have a look at that. My pliers just slipped off the rings there, so I'm just looking where they were. I can't see any scratches, which is good. I just needed to make sure it was on properly. Now then, I'm going to lay these two side by side. I'll show you what I'm doing so that I can just check the actual lengths. That ring wants to be on that side. Not that it matters, but it for the point of view of measuring, but now then, it's also at this point where it's longer than it needs to be. That's not a problem. It's longer because what I did is, having done the first block, I then just counted how many were in each of these blocks and replicated them there. And what that meant was I knew that I was going to get exactly the same starting point, so I could go diagonal like that, which of course means that this one is too long. But that's not specifically a problem. Now then, the next thing is literally to join it down the centre between the two. And that requires me to use gold and blue rings. How is Mrs. Azara? She is fine. I think she's, as usual, at the other side of the studio here, doing her own things on the internet, keeping me company. But she's doing well. She's currently a cat bed for the female pussycat, for Cleo, who has been sat. Actually, she's not been sat on my knee today. She's ignored me today as Cleo. but she's back again. You know that my wife has sat down there. Now then, I need to work out how many rings I want. I'll start with sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 gold. So we'll start with 10 gold. I'll put it down and we'll go from there and do it in small sections. It's amazingly difficult. That's why I'm using the pointer, because even with the pointer my eyes are going all over the place trying to count those. Thanks, Steve, for that. That's kind of you. So we'll start with 10. So I get 1 out. Yeah, that's great maths. I was about to say I think I just have enough rings, but I think I just found another bag of them. Yeah, that's good. No 1mm. Yeah, they are. So I have found them. So I'm not going to run out because I found another bag of the blue ones as well. So I'm rather pleased that I'm not going to run out. Now then. So these I just need to open 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Because I've got to judge when I'll put these in, then I've got to judge the exact point at which I switch to the blue to keep the diagonal motif going. Otherwise, it looks like one of the, you know, if I start the blue or put the blue join in the wrong place, it'll kind of look out of the diagonal. I noticed on the stream last night, up at this end here, I had on this second chain that I did. Sorry, the first chain that I did, I noticed I'd got a couple of rings, blue rings, where there should have been a gold one, or vice versa, and it just made it look a little bit out of place. Now then, these two do not join at the start. Now then, I've just done that, and I am wondering, yeah, I do want to start at that end. So I was just wondering which end I start at. You can really kind of do it from either end really, but they all lay on top of each other going from this side to that side. So I've got to get this through 3. Well, my important one is the first one on this side because it starts 1 out. So I actually want not that ring. I want to go through 3 rings. That one, well, starting with that one anyway. Let me get, if I pick that up, that's at least tells me I want to start there, there and there. So, and then I got to pick up 3 on this side here. Now I've got to be careful not to turn the bracelet or the chain over, because it works in one, the other side, although you can work this chain from either end, the other side has a very slightly different look, and so if I was to turn it over, the 2 would look out of place. Oh boy, is that testing my patience a little bit. There we go. 3. There. Right. boy, does that look complicated. So now I've got to get the next one through the next, so I'll skip the first one and go through the next lot. Yeah, girl power. So I want that ring, that one, and that one, and then I want that one, and that one. And this is going to be like most of them, most of the things. Once I've got 2 or 3 of these joining rings in, it'll get easier. But until they are, it looks a little bit sort of awkward. Did I get 3 there? 1, 2, 3. Yes, I did. Okay. So starting to come together. And it's actually easier than it looks. So that's through that one, so I've got to pick up that one. The hard part is just seeing, just making sure you get just the right rings that you're after, and not any extra ones. Can I open this on this side then? So can I go there, there and there? I can. Pick up that, right. Okay, so if I pick that there, I'm just working out to see if it's doing it. So that's gone through there. Okay, I'm just trying to sort of a slightly different technique for picking up the rings that I want here, to see if it's easier at this starting stage. I'm missing one ring. I'm missing that one there. I want 3 rings. Come on. I've got 2. I want the 3rd. Got it. I'm starting to think I should get a magnifying glass out and do this. Now then, something doesn't look, and that's okay. Let me lay that down. It just looks a little bit untidy at the moment, and that's almost certainly just because I've not got all the rings in. So it's bunching up a little bit, and that bunching is just literally because the ring that would hold it apart isn't in place yet. Can I do it by going 1, 2, 3? Turn around and pick up the 3 on that side. Don't know. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that works a little bit better. Sorry, you possibly couldn't. Oh, you could see that because I am working. Right, I am working on the frame at that level of the frame. So it's almost as though it's easier, if not a little bit convoluted looking, if I can get hold of this ring in the right way, to start on the things that are closest to me, grab the 3 rings that I want to go through, because this is a 6 in 1, so Each ring has to go through 6 others, and then sort of pick them up and do a sort of a turn around on the desk, so to speak. Seems to be a bit easier than trying to hold it in my hand at this stage. Let's see if I can hold it in my hand at this stage. Gold on gold rings. Drives your eyes a little bit potty trying to see them. Because they're all sparkly and reflecting the light from the ceiling spots I've got and off the big light that's just above the desk here. And it's sending my eyes sort of all googly. AD Fall Guy, good evening, welcome to the studio. I'm just finishing off what I started at the weekend. It took a bit longer than I was expecting. So it's a 6-in-1, just a simple European 6-in-1 AD Fall Guy. How did your stream go? I didn't get a chance to watch, but I did see you go live, which surprised me, given it's a Tuesday. That because of the school holidays. 3, 1, 2, 3. Come on, thank you. Okay, now that now there's a sufficient length of chain, it's sort of holding itself in place, and it's easier now to hold it in my hand than it was earlier. It's been quiet, people talking wise, all week, AD Fall Guy. It's not just tonight. It's kind of like as though half of Twitch have gone to the. Is there a Twitch con or something on this week, or some other show, and it's a bit like they've all gone there. 1, 2, 3 is that one. But there again, if that is the case, then it's kind of like, well, there's lots of people who didn't go and they're not watching the streamers who are at TwitchCon, so mind you, there again, I suppose Twitch could be broadcasting live. I hadn't actually checked. Yeah. Yeah, I've now got some unfinished projects just because I've run out of rings, but I'll finish them at some other point. And that's 1, 2, 3. There, and that's it, and then we'll switch to the blue ones, so I'll get some blue rings out. So now that's the first section, and we'll go on to the blue. So I'll just count how many there are. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to count for the remainder, I think. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, lost count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I want 8 blue. Do I want that one gold? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to decide what I want. Because that's going to sit there. And what I'm trying to do is just decide whether I actually want this ring here to be gold or blue. Because it's going to go through, pick up there. No, I want this one gold. I want this one gold, so I'll put another gold in and then I'll count. Or at least I'll put this one in and then I'll have a look and see if I was right. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right, now I'll have a look at that. No, gold's the right choice there. So I still want 8 blue, because that's the trick I've learned. So I've got 3. Those 2 are closed, so I'm not going to open them just yet. So we'll have 8 blue. Robert 1123, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Quite why I've closed that, I'm not sure. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8. And yeah, I'll do these 8 and then I'll count the gold. I'm not quite sure my brain is up to working out how many gold I want next. It should be simple, but what should be and what is 2 entirely different things. Okay, let me pick this up and I'll tip the camera back up, then I can hold it at a reasonable place so you can hopefully have an idea what I'm doing here. So all these center rings are basically lying on top of each other, so I'm going to pick the next ring position. 6 in 1, so I go through 6, 3 on each side, turn around. So I'm just turning the ring because it's easier to come from the bottom and pick 3 up on the other side like that, and then I close the ring. And as they say, rinse and repeat at least another 8 times before I change colour. But what seemed difficult at the start now gets easier, obviously, with the practice, and as you learn or work out your own technique for actually handling the rings. I guess what I ought to do is pick it up like that. Excuse me. That makes it easier to get through rather than having to twist my wrist into all sorts of contortionist positions. There, and one more. Right. So, pick it up like that. Of course, then the pliers are actually getting in the way of me seeing what I'm actually doing, but it does. You can sort of do this by feel, really. Other two would be okay. Yep. Just checking it actually looks like I expected it to. Why does that feel a bit tight just around there? Something doesn't feel right. Why does that not feel right? That doesn't feel right because that's through 4 rings, not 3. So I need to find the end. I've picked up this gold ring on this side and I shouldn't have done. Is that the end? Yes, it is. So all I should need to do is just open this, slip that gold ring off, that's better, that feels better. Whenever you're doing this, don't ignore something that feels odd, at least investigate it. Like then I'd picked up 7 rings rather than 6, so I'd picked up the gold one on this side when I shouldn't have done, and that was just pulling the rings out of alignment, so it didn't feel right. This time I want the gold ring. There we go. And then this blue one, and we'll switch back to gold again. 2, 3, yeah, that's 3. And I want that one, and that one there. So, hopefully, you can see the diagonal pattern. Lay that down the desk because I'm going to start counting again. So I started with, I'm counting on that one there, and I finish one short. So this next one should be blue as well. Okay, so we'll put that one in. And then that makes sense. Okay. That means I actually know how many gold ones I want. So I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gold for that section. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for that. Then I'm going to want